There, it's me, Veronica Drake, and today I'm going to talk about something that I think is really cool, and hopefully you'll find it helpful and informative. I'm going to talk about how old the soul potentially is. Yup, you probably have heard the phrase or the term old soul. She's an old soul. He's an old soul. You probably relate certain characteristics and behaviors and habits to being an old soul. Maybe, you even have a kid that you consider to be an old soul, or maybe you have a parent that is, well, let's just put it this way, an infant soul. So, chronologically, it doesn't matter how old one is, it's a matter of how many experiences the soul has had, or in other words, how many times it's reincarnated. So, in human terms, I'm going to label the ages or the levels of the soul for you. We have an infant soul, we have a baby soul, we have a young soul, we have a mature soul, and then we have the old soul. So everybody wants to be an old soul. Well, not everybody is an old soul, and that's a good thing. As each soul progresses through its incarnation, over and over, it has a list, a to-do list with it. Here are the lessons one needs to learn, right? It's like life. You got to get her done. And so I want to give you a little tidbit of under each one of these levels so that maybe you'll go, I know that person, or I am that person. So let's look at the infant soul. Think about an infant, right? The infant is all about close to the family. It comes out and it's all about survival, right? It's all about how do I stay alive? And now it's not chronologically, so don't think of it. An infant soul, a new soul, could be 60, right? And this is a very, these tips and tools that I'm going to give you to identify are very simple. And once you spot them, you know them. So the infant soul, the new soul, comes out. And one thing that will be consistent is the new soul needs its familiarity. It never wavers on supporting the family. It never wavers on needing the support of the family. And new souls often feel like if they venture outside of the known, that they won't fit in, right? So they can appear anxious in social situations, let's say. Also, the nest. It's the nest all the way. The closer to the family, the closer to the familiar, the more calm they feel, right? These are people with simple lifestyles. They don't like the struggle of all the fancy schmancy gadgets, right? And also, new souls may struggle with communication. They may struggle to express themselves, right? They're here to survive. And as a new soul, think about like an infant, they need the family, the familiar, in order to survive. So next level is we got the baby, or think the toddler soul. Now, the baby or the toddler soul, they're seeking stability. Think about when a toddler starts to walk. It needs to find its anchor point, its stability. Chaos and drama, they do the baby soul in. They do not deal emotionally well with chaos and drama. They struggle with how to cope with it. What do I do? Perhaps they turn within. Perhaps they have social anxiety. They're generally quiet and reserved people. Now, these people, the toddler or the baby, they're the observers. They're watching. They're trying to figure it all out, right? These souls live to follow the rules. The rules in their mind create less drama, right? And so they look for the rules. They are struggling to define themselves as separate from the community, right? Where the infant soul needs the community, this toddler wants to be independent. It knows it can walk away, but it just won't because it doesn't know how to define itself yet. Family and family tradition and repetition are extremely important at this phase of development for the soul. Like the new soul, they prefer close-knit communities, and they also like simple, simple, simple. New souls are not typically out-of-the-box thinkers. They have the herd mentality, right? Now, while survival isn't necessarily the goal, the focus for this soul, it's about social structure and discovering their place in the world. Where do I fit in? They're here to develop lessons and learn around cooperation. So let's move on to the young souls, right? Young souls are the change agents. Status quo is not for the young soul. Think about the vibrant, now I'm just giving you a chronological point. Think about the vibrant 22-year-old college graduate who's gonna go out and get the world. Now a young soul can be 80. It doesn't matter chronologically. This is the profile of the soul, not the age of the person. So status quo is not for the young soul. They're curious. And when they're curious, they're like a dog with a bone. Forget about it. They're going to fact find 6 ways to Sunday. And they could also be called, well, workaholics. They don't know when to say when. And the young soul really is about the material stuff, right? The young soul, no box for them. Never, never, never. Not a box for the young soul. They don't do it. The young soul is all about limiting the structures and the confines. They often can act emotionally rather than rationally. Do you know anyone like that? They also silently crave the approval of others. And fitting in really matters to this group. They live in a constant state of comparison. They surround themselves with like-minded people. They like to know that they're fitting in and they think like minds, right? But they also want to be the leader, the tribe leader with the thoughts. They do see the benefits of belonging in a community, and they do view it as a safe space, but they're going to be the ones that are going to tiptoe out when nobody's looking, and they'll do their thing, and then they'll come back in the box. Young souls are not comfortable going deep. They don't like to go deep within. They prefer surface intimacies. So do the souls before them. They tend to play the victim, and boy, are they big blamers, right? Their mentality is to cry about what's been done to them. I had it all together, and look what they did. That's a young soul, right? Think about it. Think about how you can compare this to evolution of a child, right? Now, I want you to also think about, who are these people in your life? Are you these people? Go back to infant soul, go back to baby soul, and now we have young soul. This level is all about expansion. How can we expand and explore the big world, right? How do we still expand and explore and anchor to safety? They are, as much as they don't want to hear this, lacking worldly experience. But that's what they're here for, to gain it. Now, mature souls, let's go into the mature soul. With this level, we know the peacemakers, right? They focus on the inner world. They're deep thinkers, and they're curious, but they're curious in a different way. They want to know the whys and the hows as it applies to the evolution of the human being as well as the collective, right? They're also very liberal in a lot of their ways, and they also love relationship focus. They like to think about relationships, and they're visionary in their way to cultivate deeper meaning in relationships. They love learning about the human body and the human emotion and how they connect. Now, life for this soul is no longer about survival. Nope. It's not about material gain. It's about understanding, empathy, and unity. This soul is all about exploration. They're curious. They're dynamic. They're striving to push things forward. They're get-her-dones, right? That's this soul. At this age, they're fully embracing the world. They're stepping out. They're making their mark. The uncertainty of the younger souls, no way. It's replaced by self-assurance. Now, let's move into the old soul. Okay, everybody and their mother thinks they're an old soul. Everybody and their mother wants to be an old soul. Nope, doesn't happen. Okay, old souls have been around the block, so to speak, right? They have reincarnated many times, right? They may even be at the end of their reincarnation cycle. They've experienced lifetimes. They have a good understanding, a good knowledge base of society, of relationships, and the world at large. They're allowing people their space. They're open to all sides. They have good knowledge and they're sharing it in a loving and benevolent way. They are generally very well versed in life. You might think of them as a jack of all trade, master of none, right? They have a well-rounded education from all the lives they've lived. Now, it's also very hard to surprise an old soul. They're self-assured, they're confident, and they really don't lack anything. Their mentality is not a lack mentality at all. They will be heard oftentimes saying, I have everything I need. They're relaxed and they are philosophical about life, right? They go deep and they're calm. They're full of wisdom and they prefer truth, self-actualization. They want to live it, they want to be it, and they want to share it. And so they tend to be less emotional, less dramatic. They don't like drama. They don't like chaos. It kind of closes them off, right? They also understand why they're here. They don't question it. And a big red flag to me that says you're not an old soul is you say, I don't want to do this over again. I don't want to come back and do this. Old souls don't say that. They know it. They don't need to speak it. They don't need to flaunt it, right? So this is just a little tiny glimpse of each level of the soul. If you are interested in knowing the characteristics of this levels of the soul, be on the lookout because that'll be my next video. If you like to read this, I got a blog post about it. I'll put the link here in the comments. And if you are somebody that says, how do I know this for me? And you're just at a wit's end and you don't know what to do, book a reading with me. Book a general reading because that way we can go soup to nuts, A to Z. We can figure you out. And here's a little tip for you. Your life purpose is not what you think it is. Yes, I said it's not what you think it is. If you're looking for that, let's talk.